Welcome to our, 25th annual Symposium luncheon sponsored by General Motors. We are so excited for our speaker today, Mary Barra, the chairman and CEO of General Motors. I'd like to first start by welcoming our host today for our luncheon, Ken Barrett, who is the Chief Diversity Officer for General Motors. Ken is someone who is not only a leader who's committed to diversity and inclusion, but someone with a long history of supporting diversity and inclusion. He is General Motors' first Chief Diversity Officer when he joined the company in 2012. And before that, he served in the United States Navy. He was a captain, so thank you for your service to our nation. And prior to joining General Motors, he served as the Undersecretary for Defense's Acting Director for the Office of Diversity Management and Equal Opportunity in Washington, D.C., and served for 5 years in the U.S. Navy's Diversity Director, where he achieved historic levels of minority and female officer additions and transformational workforce-like development initiatives. This is a leader who understands the importance of diversity. He is a proud product of Worcester, Massachusetts, and holds his undergraduate degree at Holy Cross with a master's degree at the Naval War College. And as you know, the Naval War College is where that produces so many of our leaders that serve our nation. So please welcome the Chief Diversity Officer for General Motors, Ken Barrett.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Motor City. You know, when I asked Sid actually to bring it to Detroit, he goes, well, I'll bring the conference to Detroit as long as it was warm and sunny. Well, and I told him it would be. Well, sorry, Sid, I lied. Okay, sorry about that. But no, it's certainly an honor to have a longtime partner, HACR, supporting the city of Detroit. You know, just a stone's throw from GM's world headquarters. So once again, welcome to this great city. We are proud to sponsor an organization whose mission is to support Hispanic inclusion in corporate America, with a focus on the critical pillars of employment, governance, procurement, and philanthropy. As a company, GM has continued to make strides and continues to build momentum because of people like Ignacio Salazar and Sid Wilson and the entire HACR staff. So please give them a hand. You know, for this symposium and for the past weekend, we've had over 25 GM employees actively engaged with the Corporate Executive Forum, the Corporate Achievers Summit, and the Young Hispanic Corporate Achievers. So is GM in the house? Come on. And I hope you all enjoyed this morning's panel with Santiago Chamorro, our head of Global Customer Experience and OnStar. Thank you, Santiago, for being here. We see HACR as a key strategic partner. HACR's programs are instrumental in not only developing our talent, but sustaining our access to the great minds that the Hispanic community have to offer. I want to give a special congratulations to our Young Corporate Achiever 2017 winners, Joaquin Nuno Whalen, Jessica Morano, and Angela De Hoya's Hart. Let's give it up for all the young Hispanic corporate achievers. And we're extremely excited to have our chairman and CEO, Mary Barra, take part in the conference today. I'm here to say that Mary is far more than just a diversity champion. Bottom line, she gets it. And she fully understands the importance of significant organizations like HACR and what they mean to the Hispanic community and the nation. I'm also honored to have our Senior Vice President for Human Resources, John Quattrone, here with us today, who in addition to his full-time job, is our executive champion for our Hispanic Employee Resource Group, GM HIT. Simply put, there is not a better advocate, period, for the Hispanic community. Please join me in giving John a hand, please. Thank you. And I should also note that his son is actually married a Latina, so he really is a member of the community now. So as Chief Diversity Officer, I've been blessed to have a leadership team that is truly committed to being a leader in diversity and inclusion. Their support has been crucial in achieving the many wins our team has accomplished. And really not to toot our own horn, but, well, maybe a little bit. We've had some significant achievements. We've got an 85 on the HACR Corporate Inclusion Index, ranked number 8 with Latina Style. Also with Latina Style, we've had multiple years of being our ERG being in the top 10 ERGs and multiple top 10 Latina executives. Yeah, give them all, you can give a round of applause for that. That's all good. And also, we were recently notified that once again, General Motors is on the Diversity Inc. Top 50 Companies for 2017. But more importantly, we are recruiting and developing Hispanic talent. At the 2016 SHIP and Great Minds in STEM conference, we interviewed and hired more Hispanic employees than we have in our history, and we will continue that trend into 2017 and beyond. We do this through a total collaborative effort with the help of our Hispanic ERG HIT teams, our Hispanic Leadership Network, which is made up of our Hispanic executives, our Hispanic partner recruiting team, and colleagues like yourselves. We are truly making a difference. So to close, I'm looking forward to learning more from the conversations throughout the symposium, and I want to thank everyone for being here today. Oh, and of course, if you happen to be in the market for a car, a great Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac, just come see one of our 25 GM members and we'll be glad to get you behind the wheel today. Okay.
Another applause for Ken Barrett, Chief Diversity Officer for General Motors. Thank you, General Motors, for your support. So before I bring up our next speaker to give brief remarks, I do want to, of course, recognize our board of directors that are here. Our board of directors, please stand up and be recognized. Our board of directors for HACR, and in particular, recognizing our board chairman and Detroit's own Ignacio Salazar, board chairman. Thank you. So I'd like to bring to the stage Dalia Almanza-Smith with Latino magazine. She has some remarks to share about something that's on your chairs, and I'm not sure that I recognize the other person next to Mary Barra, but nevertheless, Dalia Almanza-Smith from Latino magazine.
Thanks, Ed. Hello, everybody. We're so excited to be here. Latino magazine is in the house. We'd like to thank Sid, HACR, and your team for helping and working together with us to publish one of our most special covers. We have the dynamic and trailblazing CEO of General Motors on the cover of Latino magazine, joined by the ever dynamic and dashing Sid Wilson. We'd like to thank General Motors and Mary Barra for their time and engagement. We know how busy Mary is. We're also like to give a big shout out to Ken Barrett and to Alma Crossley for their help in making this happen. It was a real feat. Thank you. So we're just so delighted with the magazine, and I'd want to highlight a couple of the articles. On page 18 and 19, we have an article. Actually, it's an interview with Mary Barra, and it's appropriately titled "Breaking Glass Ceilings." On page 18 and 19, or I'm sorry, on page 32, we have a story about Latinos in Hollywood. But it actually ended up being a story about the lack of Latinos in Hollywood. And the title, again appropriately titled, is It's Time to Stand Up. And then lastly, we have a lot of stories, but these are the three that I thought would be of real interest. Lastly is our Latino 100, which is an annual listing of the best places for Latinos to work. This is our 6th year publishing it. So I would like to say enjoy the magazine. And from Latino Magazine, just wanted to thank everyone for your support. Our Latino Magazine team is Alfredo Estrada, the editor and publisher of Latino Magazine, our writers, our reporters, our editors, our photographers, our graphic designers, our salespeople, myself. We'd like to say thank you because the support that you give us allows us to continue to communicate the importance of the message of diversity and inclusion. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch.
She served as the CEO for General Motors since 2014. She started her career in 1980 at General Motors as a co-op student at General Motors Institute, graduating with a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, and she holds a master's in business administration from Stanford University's Graduate School of Business, where she continues to stay involved in Stanford, serving on the Stanford Board of Trustees, as well as the Stanford Graduate School Business Advisory Council. She's also serving on the board of directors of General Dynamics and the Detroit Economics Club. So she is someone that has been such an inspiration. She has been cited multiple times in multiple medias as one of the most influential women in business in the world. And so it gives me such great honor and distinct privilege to introduce our speaker today, the chairman and CEO of General Motors, Mary Barra.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna have a bit of a fireside chat and have a good chat with Mary Barra. Mary, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Detroit. Welcome everyone to
Yes,
Detroit.
yes, the Motor City. We are here. So you certainly had an eventful 3 years at the helm of General Motors. What accomplishments are you most proud of in your term as leadership?
Well, I think, first of all, it's not just me, it's the whole leadership team, but I'm really proud on a number of fronts. One, the great cars, trucks, and crossovers we're putting on the road. I really believe, and we're getting a lot of external recognition as well, that we have some of the best products we've ever produced, at least in my career. So I'm very proud of the work of the team, but also I'm really proud of what we're doing to transform personal mobility, to use technology, whether it's electrification or autonomous or all the connectivity that you have with OnStar, to just really add value for consumers. So those are probably two of the things I'm most appreciative and proud of, but it's the work of the team.
Well, can you talk a little bit more about personal mobility and what does that mean and what role will GM play in that?
Well, hopefully, my intent is that we will play a leadership role, especially in autonomous driving, because that's really the next game changer. And it's so important because with autonomous, right now in the United States, over 95%, I think it's almost 96% of accidents and fatalities that happened on our roadways are caused by human error. So imagine if you can have a system that allows you to be much more safe as you drive. And the other thing we look at is, I'm a person, I've grown up in this industry, I love to drive. But when you're in stop-and-go traffic, when you're not sure there's going to be a place to park, when it's very expensive to park your vehicle, think of dense urban areas like New York City or San Francisco. That becomes a whole different equation. And if we put the customer in the center and say, what's really going to add value for our customers, taking away those pain points of where to park, stop-and-go traffic, we think will be where autonomous is most effective. So, we believe for a very long time we're going to have what we call today the traditional owner-driver model of selling vehicles, but we also think that autonomous will be here and really create a lot of value for consumers.
Well, I'll tell you, we're looking forward to that. So we're really excited about the future of automotive. Your we've seen you involved in the President's Advisory Council on the economy. You want to talk a little about that and your role there, and how does that flow with GM's model? Yes.
Sure. Well, so I'm a member of the President's Strategy and Policy Forum, and I believe when you have an opportunity to have a seat at the table, you should take it. So for all of you, when you're offered opportunities, especially something that where you can influence and not only benefit your company, but also benefit the country, I think it's very important. So, I have found the meetings to be very, very focused, very business-based, and looking at solving issues, and really creating jobs, improving the economy, and a good balance between how do you have, the president has talked a lot about regulatory reform and less regulations. Just an example right now in the company, just on fuel economy or emissions, we're legislated by governed by 3 different agencies. And imagine the overlap. So if we can get more efficiency and actually not have regulations that compete with each other, that would be huge. So that's one of the areas we spent some time on. So, it's early days. As if you watched any news at all this weekend, it was about the first 100 days, the first 100 days, and the first 100 days. But, I think it is still very early in the term, but I find it very valuable because, we're having an impact and a voice that's being listened to.
So let's talk a little bit more about diversity.
Sure.
As you know, this is an audience that recognizes the importance of Hispanic inclusion in corporate America. Can you talk a little bit about what diversity means for General Motors, and how does that impact the business, including the bottom line?
Well, I definitely think when you look at today's environment and you look at the talent that we need, I think embracing diversity and understanding that diversity really does drive the business. My leadership team alone, of the half of the, and diversity is really, to me, the ultimate diversity is diversity of thought, which you get from different experiences, different backgrounds. So right now, my senior leadership team, about half of that group has been with the company less than 6 years and comes from other industries, other OEMs, other countries, and then traditional diversity measures as well. So when I look at that, we have just such a wide range of skill sets and opinions and experiences on our board that allows us to have a lot of good discussion and debate, and I think leads us to better decisions. From a Hispanic perspective, also, when we look at the importance right now of our minority dealers, minority-owned dealerships that we have about 248, and half of those are owned by Hispanics, which I think makes it our largest dealer group within that minority dealer development. It's something we think is so important because people want to purchase vehicles from someone they know and trust in their community, and so continuing to have our dealer base reflect the population, I think, is so important. It's also true from a workforce perspective. There is a war on talent. It's starting in certain areas, certain technical areas, but that's only going to continue. So we want to make sure we're seen as a company that values diversity, that values different points of view and different experiences, that they'll choose to not only join General Motors, but stay with General Motors because of the experience that we offer. So, from all aspects, diversity is really fundamental for driving business results.
That's great, and certainly we appreciate your commitment to diversity and inclusion, and of course a great GM team. I just want to, of course, acknowledge the GM diversity team who have just been so great with Ken Barrett and Alma Crossley. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate all the work you do.
Yes, thank you. So one thing that we're so proud of is our pipeline programs that we have, where we work to develop talent to move up the ranks within corporate America, and that includes, of course, our young Hispanic corporate achievers, many of whom have gone through the program over the 11 years, and you have 3 young YHCAs that are in this year's class. Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for our young Hispanic corporate achievers as they think about how they want to try to move up the corporate ladder?
Yeah, I would say first, do what you love. And you're going to work for a really long time, and if you're passionate about what you do, you're going to do it. You're going to do it better. You're going to invest more time because you love what you're doing. So one is figure out what really you're passionate about and try to aim your career that aligns with your passion. I'd say the second thing is work hard. My parents were neither had the opportunity to go to college. They grew up in the Depression or were born and raised in the Depression, and they really taught my brother and I the importance of hard work and that you work before you play. So I would say, be passionate, work hard, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish.
One question is, have you always aspired to be a CEO, and if yes, when, and what's been your vision in terms of the trajectory to rise up to become a CEO?
Well, I didn't know I was going to be CEO until shortly before it was announced. And that wasn't something I necessarily aspired to. In fact, when I used to have my career development conversations, I used to dread that question where it said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And especially at a company like General Motors, because you can do so many things. And so kind of the way that I guided, and you all have to own your own career. Don't look for someone else to manage it for you. You've got to manage your own career. So, what I looked at is, finding the areas that I really enjoyed, and then always working and doing every job like it was going to be the job I was going to do for the rest of my life. Because think about it, when you think you're going to do something for forever, you invest. You look to make processes better. You look to build networks. And so even though I had aspirations to do more, I always looked at the job I was doing and said, okay, I'm going to be here for a while. I want to do this job the best, and deliver the best possible results. And so I think as you're doing that, and then looking, how do you gain broadening experiences, or how do you then demonstrate that you have the ability to manage more? And so I looked at it in steps of I wanted to be known as doing a great job in what I was doing, and then look for opportunities that were in my area of interest that would give me increasing responsibilities. So that's the way I approached my career again. I've had the opportunity at General Motors to work in so many different areas, whether it's manufacturing or engineering or HR or communications. And I learned something in each of those areas. So, I'd encourage all of you that when you get an opportunity and it gives you a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling in your stomach, that's probably the job you should take. Because being, then you're challenging yourself, and you're going to learn, and you're going to grow, and continue to add, breadth and depth to your skill set, which is going to make you, a better employee and have more opportunities. So, when you get something that's a little outside your comfort zone, you should probably seize that opportunity.
Well, that's a good segue to my next question, because so many of us admire you for your rise up to becoming the chairman and CEO of General Motors. What's been your philosophy on leadership, your leadership style, and how does that sync with your personal values?
Well, first of all, I think fundamental is valuing all people and recognizing, there's this corporation, but it's all the people in the corporation that get things done, whether it's your team member on the assembly line or an engineer designing a part or the sales rep that works with our dealerships. It's all about people. And so truly valuing people, working to engage people. Earlier in my career, we used to talk about winning the hearts and minds of our employees. To make sure they felt as passionate and as valued and saw the company as having great career opportunities. So I think this foundation of valuing people, and then my personal style is I want to hear different points of view. I can be a very opinionated person. There's a few people in the audience who can say, yeah, sometimes when she gets her head around something. But I always say, I may feel very strongly about something, but I'm also open to different points of view. And maybe it's because I'm an engineer. If you build a good case, chances are I'm going to say, yep, you're right, let's do that instead of this. So I like to have good collaboration. I like to have many diverse views involved in the discussion and the decision, because I think that leads to better decisions, as I said. So it's that collaboration, but also as a leader, you can collaborate to the point where you don't get anything done. So you also have to be willing to make the call. But I think as your team sees you really value their input, you become better at doing that, and you can pick up the speed as well as really integrating multiple points of view.
Great, great. I have one last question, which I think is something that's so important for all of us. And this weekend we had a corporate executives forum that happened this weekend, and of course we have our symposium. One common theme, regardless of whether you're in the middle level manager or a senior executive, was the importance of mentoring. And so my question for you is what are your thoughts on mentorship, and do you have a mentor? Do you have a series of mentors, and how do you use those mentorships, and what's been that experience for you throughout your career?
Sure. So, I have an interesting view of mentors. A lot of times I'll get, an email from an employee who says, would you mentor me? And one of the things, the best people to mentor you are not necessarily, somebody who's high in the organization, but it's somebody who knows you. Because the best mentoring you can get when someone observes you day to day, sees what you're doing, sees what you do well, and can help you strengthen that, but also sees the areas where you have some blind spots or weaknesses. So, to me, when I look at mentoring, I think, I always recommend find somebody that you respect who sees you, whether it's day to day or week to week, so they can, really give you valuable insights. So that's one recommendation. The second is, it's not about one mentor. I mean, I think, as I was growing up in my career, there used to be a thought, well, I'm going to have a mentor, and then, if I get this mentor, I'm all set. That's not the way it works. In fact, when I recommend people, I'm very happy to have career discussions and give people my, share a point of view. But it's really, you earn great mentors in that they see how hard you're working, they want to invest in your development. So think about it as not selecting, but really earning. And through my career, I have been very fortunate to have many, many mentors, people that I worked with that saw potential or saw me working hard and chose to invest in me. And that's what you want. Thinking you can just get one person and then all of a sudden the path is going to be smooth, it doesn't exist. Because also when I recommend someone, I'm lending that person my own personal capital. So, because if I recommend people who, aren't the right person for the job, or maybe aren't the greatest people, that affects, my reputation. And so when you think about, mentoring is very important for getting feedback on how you can improve, or getting career advice when you're choosing between, should I go this route or should I go that route, or what's the right next step? Those are great career development conversations to have. Just don't get into the trap where you think, oh, so-and-so's my mentor, I'm all set, because it's your job, not theirs. And really, how hard you work is really going to, I think, have the greatest impact on your overall career success.
Well, it has been such a great joy to have this chat with you, and I know so many in the audience appreciate your support, your commitment to diversity and inclusion, but more importantly, we're just so proud of you for your achievements. So I want everyone to give a big applause to the chairman and CEO, Mary Barra. Thank you so much. We appreciate that so very, very much. Great, thank you.
Thank you.